Nobody indeed. What is up? Welcome into Driving the Line. My name is Alan Bell. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you today. All kinds of great information, picks, best bets, you name it. It is officially two things. Number one, the beginning of Super Bowl 59 week. Cannot wait. And number two, Matty boy, look, 1 year right there. 1 year being a member of Driving the Line crew. Matty boy, well done. And all of you, thank you so incredibly much. You are tremendous. And look at what we have built. It's fantastic. And I say we because all of us have done this together. So drop your favorite best bets, picks, everything in the chat. Scott, good morning, my friend. Good to see you as well. All right, let's get into everything that we need to know for today. But first off, before we look forward, as always, we have to look back at how we did on Sunday here. 2 out of 3 from me. Illinois, we get it. Oregon got beat by Nebraska. Give a shout out to the Cornhuskers there. Handled their business. But hit on Jaylen Brown threes. Bradley, Northern Iowa over 139. Man, first half, that was a sweat to get that. Second half, man, they took over. Donovan Mitchell. That one was tough. We're going to talk about that one here in just a second. But look at our man, Speedway Steve. 2 Big Phil coming through. Both of his NASCAR picks hitting in the Busch Clash. Bubba Wallace over Josh Berry and Chase Elliott over Tyler Reddick. Now, in your feeds right now, put together an entire guide on how to bet Super Bowl 59. And I'll pull myself here right on screen. Go check that out. It is on the front page of at Driving the Lines YouTube channel. You can find it on my Twitter, Driving the Lines Twitter. You'll see it all over the place. Make sure, go check this out. Put together almost an hour of all kinds of ways, cheat sheets, information, how to bet the Super Bowl, whether you are a beginner and you've never bet a game in your life or an expert and you're doing this every day. It will help all groups and everything in between. So make sure to go check that out. But enough about that. We got some other things we got to get to. And those things are called the picks. My man, Brad Betts. Good to see you, buddy. How we doing?
Good to see you, AB. Another great weekend, another great week to look forward to.
Absolutely, man. Now, here's the most important thing, okay? The picks, all of that clearly is what we're all here for, the sports betting community. But life is bigger than that. My man, you had a baby shower this weekend. How did it go?
It was incredible, honestly. Friends, family from all over the country flew in, drove in. We all got together, had dinner after engagement, after event. So I'm so glad it's over. I'm done dropping people off at the airport, and I'm finally ready to get back into the footy slate for this week.
Lovely B&A Nashville Airport there. I'm sure that you had a ton of fun with all the construction that they're doing over there, building up. It's crazy if anybody's ever been to Nashville and flown in, flown out. They're basically building what feels like an entire second airport on top of that. So I'm glad that everything went well. And to you and the lovely one there, congratulations, obviously. Now, that's always fun. Picks are fun too. So, my man, I'm going to let you go first. Let it rip. What you got?
Awesome. Well, right before we jump into this pick, we need to make sure that we have our ducks in a row. What's special about today? Well, today is one of 2 holidays in the footballing world. It is transfer deadline day. Today is the last day for all the clubs throughout the world to exchange, sell, buy players, bring in new faces, new blood in order to improve their team for the rest of the season. The next transfer window doesn't open until the summer. So for a lot of these teams, it is the last opportunity before the end of the season. With that being said, be cautious. There's a lot of teams today who have players that are linked with moves. We could touch on a few of those, but let's jump straight into today's best bet. We're targeting the Italian match today in Serie A. There's just one match. It is a matchup between Cagliari and Lazio. Will Cagliari come in scoring in 75% of their last 24 home matches? When they're at home, they find the net regularly, but also they're a big-time conceder. 30 of the last 33 matches, that is 91% of their matches they are conceding. They've only won 3 of their last 15, so they're not trending well. They're taking on a Lazio squad who scored now in scored 2+ in 16 of the last 19 versus Cagliari and 13 straight. They're regular scorers as well, 41 of their last 46. You expect Lazio to find the net, not just one, but multiple. And they've conceded now in 9 of 10. So they're coming in conceding as well, and 23 of their 31 on the season. That's 74%. So these numbers look really great for both teams to be able to find the net and Lazio to be able to find multiple goals. And I think the best way that we can take this match is on the bet split. It's taking Lazio, both teams to score at -130, and Lazio money line at -110. Lazio come in also just below Juventus in the table. If they win tonight, they will jump over Juventus into that 4th spot, which, for those who are uninformed, is Champions League football. Top 4 squads in the league are able to make the top tournament next year. So this is their big focus, and not just jumping over Juventus into that top 4 spot, but they're going to have to overturn some goal differential long term, which is why I see Lazio coming in, scoring multiple goals, being able to push Cagliari, but I also see Cagliari being able to find the net. And I think the best way to split it again is that both teams to score and money line. If one of them doesn't come in, it gives you a great bet split at these advantageous lines.
Advantageous lines indeed. Also, I got to give you a shout out. Okay. Over what was it? Friday over the weekend, the Australian bets nailed them. My dude crushed them. Well done. Is Australia is that a big like key area where you lean in to betting soccer picks?
Yeah, I love Australia. Australia has some teams that are, I guess you could say, they have a lot of consistency. So if you're playing some of these top teams, they have players who perform day in and day out. Yes, we didn't split those picks, but Adelaide had a 3.27 expected goal differential, well above the home team Sydney, who beat them 4-1 in the slate. We had miss after miss after miss, so it should have come in. Right bet, unfortunate result.
Hey, sometimes look, good bets don't always hit. All right. That's a good thing to remember right there. I'll say this, man. I used to bet 2 years ago or so, MLS, both teams to score, right? Like we'd go through the list, and not that scoring is down by any means. I'm not saying that, but it felt like when we had a lot of, kind of expansion teams, when it first really kind of started to blow up, dude, we would find goals all over the place. So I say all that to say, the consistency part, what you talk about. I don't care if a team is good, if a team is bad. Just be consistent, right? Like that's the only thing that I look for. We bet baseball, college baseball, Major League Baseball. I can deal with teams that aren't good. If you're just not good pretty much every time out, like we can figure out how to bet it. So I'll say this, man. And we've got a couple new things that are coming to the YouTube page. Just in regards to like videos, some shorts and stuff. One of them I'm going to start is lessons from losses in bets. All right. So follow me here. After the Luka Doncic trade, Anthony Davis in the NBA, right? So that goes down Saturday night? Saturday? Yeah. So anyways, the Mavericks play the next day. Clearly their star player has just been traded. The team deflated, right? Well, they're playing the Cavaliers, the best teams in the league. Cavaliers come out, put up 92 points in the first half, absolutely blow them out. However, this is the first lesson. Brad, I was stupid because I got too cute, all right? I was betting essentially like in my head, simplistically thinking the Mavs are going to get blown out. Like team's deflated. They don't know what they're doing. They're going against one of the best teams in the league. But instead of just betting the Cavs with the spread, like keeping it simple, no, I go to Donovan Mitchell, the star players, over 3.5 threes. And it doesn't hit. He hits 2, and he doesn't play the entire second half. Doesn't play any in the fourth quarter because they were up so big. So that's our first lesson is don't get cute. Just go with the bet that you want to make to begin with. You know what I mean? My dumb brain, I overthought it, and I paid for it. All right. Now, my picks here. We've got 4 going with today. First one, Brad, we're going Virginia-Pittsburgh over 131.5. All right. Virginia has been known for their defense, but not as much as it used to be as of, a year, 2 years ago. I think that Pittsburgh is going to press it here in terms of points, in terms of the pace of play. And I think Virginia is they're going to be all right. I think, long story short, what we're going to get or a lot of points here. 131.5, attractive number here for both of these teams. Now, Iowa State, Kansas is the big game of the night. All right. Iowa State, what are they ranked? Third in the country on the road against the blue blood, Kansas. All right. I'm not going to overthink this one, my boy. All right. We're going to go both teams to score 68 points or more. Yeah, it sounds like I'm overthinking it, but I'm not. I don't want to play the total, and I don't want to play a spread, but I do want to play that both of these teams are going to score. Quite frankly, I think that both of them get into the low 70s, but we can take it, move the number with both teams. I play this at DraftKings, but you can play it really any of your books. We're going to get it at minus 105, so almost even money. Nikola Jokic over 1.5 threes tonight at minus 115. And then we're also going to play Malik Beasley over 3.5 threes at minus 105. Now, that was a ton of fun. However, what else, my friend, is a ton of fun is we're going to go over some headlines and some thoughts. And I want to get your thoughts in regards to a couple of these. And we're going to talk about soccer here as well, because we need to know, and I need to know what we're going to be looking at. But here are the headlines. All right, so we had a massive trade over the weekend. Okay, Luka Doncic goes from the Mavericks to the Lakers. Anthony Davis goes from the Lakers to the Mavs. And Brad, everybody's wondering, all right, what in the hell are the Mavericks doing? Okay, Luka Doncic traded for 1 first-round pick, and this is courtesy of StatMuse. Rudy Gobert was traded for 4 first-round picks. Any thoughts that you have in the NBA? And is there any type of a trade that you've seen in soccer where you're like, what in the world is this team thinking, man?
So in football, soccer, you don't get a lot of trades. Typically, you have buying and selling. They tend to take these things independent. The biggest trade that I can remember is such a long time ago. It was between this guy named Ibrahimovic, if you're familiar with Zlatan.
Yeah.
This guy named Samuel Eto'o. Inter Milan, Barcelona. This is one of the rare occasions that I can even find that there was a trade. So I don't have a lot to bring you on that front. But as far as Luka Doncic, I want to say I'm surprised, but I'm not necessarily surprised. After when he was celebrating, was it the Western Conference Final? One of the championships before he got to the finals. I remember him drinking a beer, leaning up in the side of the tunnel and trying to celebrate. And then one of the executives coming and taking that beer from his hand. And I know that that has been all over the social media, but that's the only thing that I can think of in regards to this trade that really makes sense. Luka, superstar. Why would they give him up? Well, it seems like they think he might be partying too much. Maybe he's coming in overweight. I have heard those rumors as well from the offseason. Takes him a long time to get into the thick of things. What else could they be doing? It looks like they tried to do this in secret, which means they didn't want everybody to know. It's weird. I'm surprised. And maybe it's the NBA intervening to get LeBron somebody to help him win a title other than AD. I don't know. Those are my speculations. But, man, what news? I haven't heard news like this that has made people drop their jaw in the NBA in a long time. So, from that point, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's massive, right? And we had some other trades that went down in the NBA as well. We're waiting to see what Jimmy Butler, what's going to happen there, with the Miami Heat. But, yeah, you brought up, the weight, right? And, again, here's the other tough part, right? Like, having been in the media for a while and understanding the game, that once a player's traded, all right, especially a star player, like if you're the Mavericks, okay, you start kind of getting the feel of the public persona, so to say, right? Is this going over well? Is this positive, right? And it wasn't real positive in regards to the Maverick side, right, for what they were getting back. So you started to see those, those kind of source reports come out, and it's not wrong that Luka definitely there's been, some in-shape questions. It's not new. I think that they said, he hadn't played since Christmas, right? He was up around, they said around 270. I think the bigger thing here was he was up for a Supermax deal, which understand this, okay? He was up for a Supermax contract, which would have been a crazy amount of money. I think like near $400 million that the Mavericks weren't apparently not going to re-sign him for, right? Now, when you get traded, you automatically become ineligible for a supermax deal, which, again, don't ever count out lawyers and accountants in sports, right? Like, they can figure out some stuff, but on the front of it, this would cost Luka $115 million if he's not. Yeah. So I think this comes down to the team was just not going to re-sign him. They try to get what they can for him, and move on. Everybody in the chat, drop what you think in regards to that trade. Dan says, Luka about to get in shape, show Mavs where they shouldn't have got rid of him. Probably so, right? Zach Phelps drops the Discord link. Yeah, come join in for sure. Dwayne says, Lakers need to move Reeves for a big, maybe Clayton or Mitch Rob. We will see about that for sure. Now, yeah, I mean, this is a big move, but it's also two players that have been injured, right? So we'll see. Like we said, man, Luka, he hadn't played, since Christmas, but we'll see. We'll find out. Now, story number 2. The Raiders. I have got to give the Raider Nation a shout out here. All right. This tweet's from Albert Beer. All right. The Raiders told candidates during their head coaching search that they were making a serious commitment. All right. Commitment to excellence with an infusion of cash from the new owners, Tom Brady being one of them. All right. So they signed not only Pete Carroll as their head coach, okay, a guy who's won a national championship, a guy who's won a Super Bowl. All right. And by the way, the coaching staff in the AFC West is unbelievable. All right. You've got all 4 coaches out there have gone to a Super Bowl. 3 of the 4 have won a Super Bowl. And on top of that, 2 of them, Jim Harbaugh and now Pete Carroll, have also won a national championship. Like, star-studded, okay? So they go and get Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator from Ohio State, who used to be the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles back in the day, head coach of Oregon, head coach UCLA. Chip Kelly coached his ass off with Ohio State. Absolutely. That man was on fire calling plays. And now the Raiders get him under Pete Carroll. And, the big question was Pete Carroll can get pretty conservative, right, in terms of his play calling. A lot of running the football, which, again, look at Pete Carroll's resume. He's won everywhere he's been. However, I think Raiders fans did have some questions. So we've got to give them a massive shout out in regards to this, because Chip Kelly is going to bring a lot of balance. And quite frankly, if you were the Raiders, you're a Raider fan, if you were any fan that was looking for a new head coach this offseason, buddy, the Raiders absolutely nailed it. Okay. The Bears, we'll find out, but they got their guy. They got the number 1 guy out there in Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator. The Patriots go get their guy. All right, in regards to Mike Vrabel and his staff that he's putting together. And the Jaguars are stuck in hell. But we've got to give the Raiders credit here. Any thoughts you have, the NFL, in regards to head coaches?
Honestly, I'm so unfamiliar with head coaches. The only thing I really care about is, please, Titans, hire somebody or have somebody that can help this franchise. We are poor.
Well, you know what? Okay, so it's funny that you bring that up. All right, so the Titans weren't looking for a head coach this offseason, okay? But what they were looking for was a new general manager, because that situation was out of control.
Yeah.
The Titans go and hire the assistant general manager of the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? Seemingly their guy, a great hire to go get, okay? So they go pick him up. Then they start picking up other guys that they interviewed for the GM role and hiring them as assistants. All right. Reggie McKenzie being one of, like, the Titans are going for it in regards to their front office. We'll see how that one plays out. However, we got to give them credit at least on that. They at least went and found people that get along. We could at least do that. Okay. So there you go for the Titans. Now, got something else for you. Okay. So well, let me pause. Before we get out of the headlines, soccer-wise, what do we need to know this week? Like, I am a novice at soccer betting, soccer in general. What do we need to know this week? Like, what leagues, what big games, like, what are we looking forward to throughout the week for somebody who knows absolutely nothing about betting soccer?
Well, today specifically, we need to make sure that these important players are in the lineup. So there was a question in the chat. What do I think of the both teams to score in today's match between Chelsea and West Ham? Great question. Chelsea has 3 attackers that are linked away. We have Joao Felix, who's linked. We have Christopher Nkunku, who just turned down a deal. He could be linked. We also have Cole Palmer. He's not linked, but he might have picked up an injury against Manchester City. We need to be aware of the status. So what we're saying is you need to know that at the very last second, a lot of these players are going to be pulled from the lineup for just cautionary reasons. If there's a possibility that they're linked away, they could go, but that ends today. After today, we should start to see some more familiarity. A lot of these players who have already signed should be starting to enter the lineup. If they've been signed within the past couple of days, that doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be in the lineup. So everything is very last minute. We want to be very simple. And throughout early week and midweek, we have some cup fixtures, some semifinal, final action. And when you have situations like that, you need to be very careful again of these lineups. So my big takeaway this week is be careful with who you play, because you're not sure who's going to be suiting up. But after today, that should help us a little bit more. And into this weekend, we should have a lot of these teams at full strength and starting to see what they're going to be producing for the rest of the season. So it's a big week in soccer. We're getting past that transition period time. We have tons and tons of leagues that are returning. If it's from Poland or, you name it, there's a league returning. Serbia, Romania, all over the world. And in the first couple games back, we need to be very careful, just like this match here I've highlighted in check.
I was going to say, not to interrupt you, you were just going on, and I see a board back there that just says check, and then you've got a bunch of bets.
Exactly. Like with this check match, I wanted to make it my favorite bet. It looks amazing. Both teams' of scores come in the home teams 19 of 25. Over 2.5 comes in and 22 of 24 when the both teams' of score hits. The away side, Victoria Pilsen, a European squad, is the better team, and you like to bet when those better teams are away from home. Both teams' of score has hit in 8 straight when they've played one another, and 5 straight has hit the over 2.5. So everything makes me want to look to play goals. However, this league is returning. This is the first match back for the home team Sigma. They've been off for a month and a half. Could be some serious rust. And with Pilsen, they've already played 2 matches in Europa. It is a bit of a good situation for them, having a couple matches under their belt to get their legs. So I do expect them to win. I expect that score to be run up, but I don't necessarily know if it's going to be an overmatch or if they're going to come and try to minimize risk. And if Sigma has their players, or if they're going to come strong and hungry. In a lot of these leagues, you need to just be very careful when they're returning, because what we've seen with all this transfer speculation, you don't want to get caught in the wrong place with the wrong bet.
You definitely don't want to get caught in the wrong place with the wrong kind of bet. You know why? Because every day this week during Super Bowl 59 week, all right, we got a bet for you. We call it the AB3. Let's go. Okay, so let's set the stage here. All right, Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Chiefs against the Eagles. All right. Chiefs remained a 1.5-point favorite. Hasn't moved. All right. Seemingly for longer than 1 second. All right. And we've got a total of 48.5 that has dropped down from 49.5. But Brad, what we're going to do is each day this week, we're going to put together a little AB3 parlay. All right. Little 3-leg parlay for the Super Bowl. Some are going to be wild. Some are going to be conservative, right? But we're going to try to approach it exactly how you were just breaking that down. So you ready for Mondays here? Ready to get it going? Let's get it going, okay? We're going to keep this one simple. Saquon Barkley, score a touchdown. Jalen Hurts to score a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes to throw an interception, plus 465. What do you think about this?
I think those could be pretty correlated bets. If Eagles are finding success, especially on the ground, they could be up, and that could force Patrick Mahomes to be throwing the rock a little bit more, which could put it into bad hands. I'm not sure how often Mahomes throws an interception. That's not necessarily my specialty, but I do know for sure how Saquon Barkley likes to score. He was on my fantasy team, and how Jalen Hurts likes to be a vulture and eat a lot of those when they're close to the goal line. So I like, hopefully, Saquon to pull off one of those early explosive plays, get into the end zone, and then Jalen Hurts puts it on his back and then hopefully pushes Pat to throw that pick.
My boy, that's a great breakdown. Now, understand this, all right? So you just talked about Patrick Mahomes and his interceptions, and we spoke that on the front page of our YouTube channel, we've got a full show breakdown of how to bet Super Bowl 59 from beginner to expert and everybody in between. And trust me, I'm going to show you why this is so important, because you just talked about Patrick Mahomes in regards to his averages, right? Throwing interceptions, etc. Well, take a look at this, okay? How we normally break down quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends. We take a look, and you always see this right here, right? This screen, regards to these are the prop numbers, over or unders that the books have set. Well, in that video, which everyone needs to go check out right after this show, all right, we put in the averages of all of these players of what they've gone per game. And you can see and break down how the books, where they're taxing you, where they're putting high numbers, where they're putting low numbers. But you talked about interceptions. Look at the bottom left right there. Mahomes averaged this season 0.60 of an interception thrown per game, which sounds low. My man, it's pretty good number. Now, a lot of those came the first half of the season. He slowed down tremendously in throwing interceptions, but compared over to the right side, all right, with Jalen Hurts, 0.30. This man doesn't throw them because, quite frankly, look at these passing numbers, all right? And this is why this show is so important, because look at the pass yards over unders that are set by the book, 251.5 compared to 210.5. Look at the averages. Mahomes, 241.7. Jalen Hurts, 189.3. And it's not that our man can't throw, but they didn't have to throw. You know what I mean? Like, they just ran the damn ball, both him and obviously Saquon Barkley. So I wanted to put this up of why you're going to see lots of new cool stuff in that ultimate guide of how to bet the Super Bowl. I promise you, if you've never bet a game in your life, watch that video and you'll be all set. If you have bet games every day for years, watch that video. There's all kinds of fun information in there. And then finally, okay, now, you ready to play a little game?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let me get the picks back up here one more time so that everyone can see, even though you've got them right there on the ticker at the bottom. It's just easier to see on screen, right? So 4 for me, Virginia-Pittsburgh over 131.5, Iowa State-Kansas, the matchup, the showdown tonight. All right, both teams to score 68-plus points, minus 105. NBA going to Nikola Jokic over 1.5 threes at minus 115. And in the NBA, Malik Beasley over 3.5 threes at minus 105. All right, your 2. What you got, bro?
My 2 were targeting the same match. I like to call this a bet split. Typically, when I target one match and I give 2 bets, it's because I like 2 bets equally within the same match. So we'll take that for 1U, split it in half, each one a half unit, but it's a total of 1U play. Cagliari and Lazio, both teams to score. Both are hitting it frequently. And then Lazio money line. Lazio have scored 2+ in 16 of 19. If both teams should score, they should be the person who gets ahead and gives them that ML. And then it should also push Cagliari if they haven't scored yet. So I like both teams to score. And I also like the Lazio money line. Not parlayed together, to be very specific. Not parlayed, separate bets.
There we go. If you like it, I like it. Now, Dwayne, that's a good question in the chat. Do the Lakers now need to trade Austin Reeves or Dalton Connect? This is fascinating. I thought about this. Dalton Connect, he played at Tennessee. He was a first-round pick for the Los Angeles Lakers. He's a shooter. The dude can play. But you're bringing in a shooter. I'm fascinated at that. I don't know an answer yet, but if you were going to trade him, like, I think your value, at least speaking from Dalton Connect, like, there would be teams out there. But again, I'm not as familiar with the NBA in regards to rookie pay scales and the value, you know, and all that. I just know the NFL much better. I don't think that they would trade a rookie, right? But again, Scott, they won't trade Connect. Yeah, being a rookie, like, it's not free money, but it's just not a lot. You know what I mean? And I don't think they're going to trade Reeves either. Same thing that Dan Clark says. Now, I said we were going to play a game, and we are, but I do have to point one more thing out for sure. And I'm not saying this about me. I'm saying it about our brand, all right? We're the only show doing games or doing shows and picks on the weekends, and that damn sure is going to continue. Do not ever worry about that. And, Brad, we've got some awesome new friends that are coming this week and moving forward. Okay. So everyone make sure, and I'll put their links in the Discord, in the contact list, there in the chat. Ron Slay. All right. If you know of Ron, played basketball at Tennessee, played professional basketball. He's with the SEC network now. He's going to come on, break down some college basketball, come with us every week. He's got a parlay he's going to bring each time called the Par Slay. If you have not met Ron Slay, you are going to absolutely love this guy. Brad, he's a lot like you. Like, he's just fun, he's awesome, and he has a great time and a big enthusiasm in regards to that. Josh Ward and Jason Swain, all right, radio host in Knoxville. All right, Josh Ward, longtime friend of mine. Host Jason Swain played football at Tennessee, played football for the Bears in the NFL. They're going to come break down what this hire does for the Chicago Bears, what we should look at in regards to players in the NFL, and what's in their mindset of playing in a Super Bowl. Speaking of that, Blaine Bishop is going to come join us, 4-time Pro Bowler, not only played in the Super Bowl, all right, with the Tennessee Titans, also played for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'll tell you, wait till you see his hand. This guy was a strong safety. He's got a hell of a story. His pinky is broken and is sideways. He's old school NFL. You're going to enjoy it, man. My buddy Michael Bolin used to cover the NBA with CBS Sports, worked with him for a long, long time. Great dude. He's going to join us. And here's another one, because look, I hate the big announcement coming. I don't like doing that at all. I like just telling you who's going to come, and we got more on this list. Old school. Who remembers Jay Smooth, Justin Perry, coming back to break down college basketball with us as well? Gonna get him going. It is gonna be fantastic. And again, we have more coming on top of that. It is gonna be fantastic. Friend of mine, Trista Crick, is going to come with us, and so many more too. I'm telling you, it is going to be just awesome. Now, all right, had to plug that, had to get it out there. And our man Kirk, thank you. $20 in the super chat, buddy. Thank you. And speaking of, Matt Peralt going to join us as well with his partner. We got to meet Big Dave Sheridan. We're going to get Matt Peralt on too. So we're going to do that. Okay, enough shameless plugs. But I hate the announcement of, hey, everybody stay in, no announcement coming. No, we're just going to do it. All right, and we're going to get it out there. So here's the game we're going to play. Okay, and we'll end the show with this. This is your stat of the day, but also your Super Bowl bet of the day. Okay. Gatorade color. Now, you've got prop bets in the Super Bowl that you could bet on the coin flip. You can bet on over under the length of the national anthem, halftime, like first song of the halftime show. I'm not good at those, and a coin flip's 50-50. I will say this. If you are betting the coin flip, make sure that you get plus money, okay? It's a 50-50. Make sure you get plus money. But, Brad, with this, all right, and this is the odds on, the Gatorade shower after the game, right? What color is the Gatorade going to be? All right, so purple, the favorite, plus 225. Yellow, green, plus 250. Orange, plus 400. Red, pink, plus 650. Blue, plus 650. Clear or water, plus 900. And no Gatorade bath, plus 2,500. So those are your odds, okay? Big Dan Clark, member for 12 months. Thank you. Hell yeah. February 14th. Yes, the overs and college baseball is absolutely back. So these are our odds. But like I said, there's information at least behind these, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. You look at it, you go, why the hell? Yeah, Maddie says it. What world am I living in where purple is the favorite? You ready for this? Went through and found the winning Gatorade colors, all of them since 2001. Take a look at this, okay? Orange, 5 times. Clear water, 4. None, 4. Look at those odds. None, 2,500, okay? Blue, 4. But here's the stat. Purple, 4 times. It's hit in 2 straight Super Bowls. You You want to know why? The Chiefs have won 2 straight Super Bowls, and they've gone purple and purple back to back. They're playing in this one. They win a third. Here's your question. Are the Chiefs a superstitious team? Right? Because if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. You know what I mean? Yellow 3 times since 2001, and red and pink 0. Right? Fruit punch Gatorade is delicious. I mean, look at it. Look how thirst quenching that looks right there. So, okay. I said all that. I bring it back to the odds. Which color are you going?
That's a good question. One question I have is, do they typically have like 4 or 5, 6 flavors on the sideline, or do they typically go 1 to 2 flavors max? Because if they're going 1 to 2 flavors, then we probably know purple's going to be there for the Chiefs.
Yeah. So let me say this. Every team is different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Generally, you would have no more than 2. Most teams would have no more than 1. Okay. Right? Because you're a lot of times you're going to have a water.
Yep. And
you're going to have a Gatorade. That's what you're going to have. All right. And you've got them in the big jugs, and your equipment team are the guys that are coming in and mixing, with the big powder, because you're doing it, at a large rate. And they don't want to put any, you don't want to add any, electrolyte, like any of that kind of stuff, because you got to keep it for 90 people. Right. But you're going to have a water option, and you're going to have, So to answer your question, that's generally how they do it.
I think I want to go orange. I don't want to go 650, and I don't want to go 225. Sometimes I think they try and slip one in there. I think orange is a comfortable color that they would grab, or maybe one that could be filled. I think orange is one of the last drink on here. So if they're not drinking it as much, maybe they want to throw a heavier pour.
Nice. Okay. There we go. All right. Now, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go with clear water. Okay. I'm going with clear water. And I think that is going to be the way this year. All right. You get yourself options, because you've not only got water, which we know there's going to be water on the sideline. There's no way you don't have a water option. So let's get that out of the way. Okay. That's going to work for both teams. All right. Number 2, there's also just a clear Gatorade. Right? Glacier Cherry. It is phenomenal. If anybody's never had it. Now, I don't think you're betting on that, but I will go with the clear water option, because water is always in play. I'm going to go with it. And it's hit 4 times since 2001. But that's enough Gatorade colors for today, because you know what? We broke it down games, broke it down all that, but you got to be careful with those bets. Let's just say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, keep them fun, no doubt.
100% on that one. Okay. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, my man?
I just wanted to touch quickly. I wanted to follow up on that Chelsea match, on what I expect, and a few other matches just real quick. That Chelsea match is scary, like I mentioned, with some of those players. So make sure you're in there. Both teams, the score has come in really frequently with Chelsea, 20 in their last 25 league matches, and the over 20 of their last 26 league matches. So it does look like when Chelsea plays in the league that they score, and the score gets run up. However, that line is at 3.5. And with West Ham right now, a lot of their attackers are questionable. We don't know where Danny Ings is going to be. Mikel Antonio recently still recovering from his injury off the field. They're playing Paqueta up top. He's not looking fantastic. Graham Potter is their new manager. And for those who don't know, Graham Potter is a former Chelsea coach. So he's going to want to get something over him. Chelsea hasn't been all that great lately. And if you want to take either bet, you can't really take the over 3, because the over 3 is either minus 185 or the over 3.5. So it's a little bit of juice. It might be worth taking that over 3 live for that safety net. You also have that Gaziantep and Galatasaray match in Turkey. Those who know, Galatasaray hits the over ridiculously frequently. They've conceded in 36 of 41. So you expect both teams to score an over 2.5 to come in. However, when you look at the last time that these two played one another, Galatasaray did score 3 and Gaziantep scored, but it was late, and it was off a .01 EXG goal from half. And over 2.5 has only come in 2 of their last 10. So they're not trending well I would stay maybe away from this match. Alvaro Morata's linked with Galatasaray as well, so we don't necessarily know who's going to be up top. You also have that Czech match, which I've already highlighted, and the Girona match. I would stay away from Girona right now. They've only hit both teams to score in 7 of their last 20, but this one kind of looks like it might be a both teams to score match. So it's not trending well. Let's just look to avoid matches that don't make a lot of sense, especially ones that are going to be heavily targeted, like those Spanish La Liga matches today.
You beautiful son of a gun. You're brilliant, sharp looking. Dude, well done, man. No, that was great. Like, that's great information, man. Like, knowing the teams not only to bet, but the teams not to bet. You know what I mean? That's a sharp look right there, brother. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be live today, the afternoon show, driving the Nightline at 3 p.m. Eastern. Where else are you going to get a spot where if you are with the crew, the DTL crew, we'll put you on air. You got bets? Come on. All right, bring them. You want to make bets, have some fun? Let's go. If you're looking to do this as a profession, you're looking to get some reps, all right? Come on. Let's do it. 3 p.m. Eastern. Information, it's in the Discord there. Join. It's free. Check it out. Think you'll enjoy it. But, everybody, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets, and we will see you at 3 p.m. Eastern today, driving the Nightline. Peace. Who's got it better than us? No!